Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACW Newscast. I am Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, as always. And this is, first of all, going to be the first newscast of the year of 2015. So, Happy New Year to everybody that's joining us for this newscast. And as you guys already know, with ACW, for the new year, we're going to be returning on March 16th, 2015, a new season of ACW. So, look out for that as well. Plus, we've got the ACW draft coming up on February 6th, Friday, which will be next week, only on YouTube, and that's going to have a lot of implications as to what's going to be for Anime Championship Wrestling um, later this year. But today we're going to be talking about. Now, this is going to be a weird newscast, by the way, number 60. It's going to be a weird newscast. Now, I had originally planned for the newscast to be released on Sunday afternoon. Couldn't get that done, so and by the time I was trying to work on the newscast, it was kind of outdated. Some of the commentary was outdated, so I had to cut certain audio of the newscast. And after what's been going down the last 72 hours, as it pertains to the WWE and the Royal Rumble, I wanted to really try to just give you a fresh commentary. So here's how it's gonna go. We're gonna go over the Royal Rumble and the aftermath of that Rumble event. And we're also going to go over about DCA Revelations Last Rites, which is coming up this Saturday night, only on hitbox.tv/DWall4869. Join DWall and I as we will be commentating that mega event as I start my new journey as the new head commentator of DCA. And it would be a really cool thing for a lot of you fans that watch ACW to come watch DCA this Saturday night with DCA Revelations, as we're going to be closing out Season 1 and heading into Season 2. We're going to go over the match card for Revelations as well in this newscast as well. And we're also going to go over your questions and comments. But your questions and comments, some of them, since it was supposed to be posted on Sunday, but I'm posting it now on Wednesday, some of the questions and comments are a bit outdated. So you're going to be hearing some outdated answers, basically, because I recorded that portion on Sunday. So you're going to get like a outdated portion of the Q&A, but I still answer them. We're still going to show for you. So all that here today on the newscast. So let's just get to it real quick. Let's try to make this as short as possible. Let's go over the Royal Rumble and what happened this past Sunday. So the Royal Rumble, if you want my honest opinion about it, it was a very mixed bag. Let's talk about the two matches that you really care about, the two matches that you really cared to watch about it. First, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between the champion Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins. We're also going to talk about the Royal Rumble match itself and with the eventual winner as well, and a lot of things that happened with that whole deal. But let's talk about the championship match. Outstanding, an awesome triple threat title match between three great talent in the ring. Brock Lesnar is such a beast. You know, we can complain, and I can surely complain about him not being a champion that is always around, a champion that you don't get to see, a champion that has really become a little to no attraction as champion. Having that said, whenever Brock Lesnar shows up, not just in the arena, but every time he's scheduled in a match as champion, there's like a certain big fight atmosphere that comes with Brock Lesnar in every match. Like every Brock Lesnar match feels special. It feels different than your standard WWE title match for some reason. I mean, that's the notion I get when I ever watch a Brock Lesnar title match in 2015. And Brock Lesnar, he did his part. He came out as the beast that you could not stop, that you had to throw everything in the kitchen sink to stop this beast from becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And Brock Lesnar, despite him, he was really suplex happy, I will say that. But other than that, I think Brock Lesnar filled his role pretty well in putting over Rollins and Cena indirectly while establishing himself as the monster to beat in the WWE. John Cena, he put on his working boots. There are a lot of times where John Cena, you can tell he tends to phone in his performances, and there are certain matches where you can tell that he's really on his game. And I think John Cena really worked well. I think John Cena gave a lot of shine to Seth Rollins. He played the babyface and apparel pretty well, I think, in the match. I personally thought Cena was going to win the title here. especially with the Rumble winner eventually. I thought Cena was going to win the title here. I guess not, and I guess he'll be moving into another program with a certain somebody that I'll get to in a minute. So John Cena, I think he played his role well, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he did in this match. But despite Brock Lesnar's performance, and despite Cena's work rate in this match, the MVP of this match, without a doubt, without a question, was Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins. You want to talk about star-making performances? Seth Rollins made his mark here on this match on that night. Now, I'm not one of those people that are going to be saying that Seth Rollins is one of the greatest heels in the past decade. I'm not going to go that far. I think people are overrating Seth Rollins' heel work lately. I mean, if you really think about it, Seth Rollins has been made to be the authority's lapdog. And I know that's a gimmick and everything, but that's really how he's been booked. He's had to use the authority to make himself seem credible. But other than that, Seth Rollins here, he did phenomenal work. He was able to go up convincingly not only against John Cena, but against Brock Lesnar. And Seth Rollins threw everything at both men, and at the same time got enough shine to showcase his abilities and talents in the ring to be a future player, to be a future main eventer, to be a future WWE champion. Now, I'm not buying Seth Rollins as a WWE champion right now. There's no way I'm buying that. But the fact of the matter remains is that Seth Rollins had an all-star performance that cannot be denied. The fact that that leap from the turnbuckle to the announcer table, taking out Brock Lesnar for a couple of minutes, was phenomenal. That's one of those moments that Seth Rollins can look back at and say, that's when I was made to be a big deal. And he can look back to that. So we all knew Rollins was in that match, however, to take the fall from either Cena or Lesnar. Brock Lesnar retains the title. That's fine. I mean, I thought Cena was going to win the title for certain reasons, but I'm glad he didn't really win it eventually. I'm glad Brock Lesnar is going to retain the title, and apparently he's going to hold it all the way to WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania, then I guess he's leaving to go back to the UFC, but for the time being, he's going to hold the title to WrestleMania, and I think that's a good thing, and I think Brock Lesnar, despite with a lot of issues with his booking and the way his appearances have been booked, in this instance, he really did a great job and put over Seth Rollins as a legit deal. So congratulations and kudos go to all three men for having a very outstanding match. Easily a match of the year contender for the 2015 of the WWE. No question about it. It will stand the test of time this year. So great effort from all three men involved. But let's get to the match that a lot of people have had their opinions about for these past 72 hours, and the Royal Rumble match. First things first, I want to talk about the Rumble match in general. Very underwhelming this year. Just very underwhelming. Maybe a tad bit better than last year, I guess, but that's not saying a lot. It was great to see Bubba Ray Dudley, or Bully Ray, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's a long-term thing with Bubba Ray, but it was great to just see him in a WWE event again. It was great to see. It was kind of weird and funny to see the Boogeyman back. Great to see DDP as well, so those surprise appearances were pretty cool. I wish we could have gotten more because, I mean, you got the likes of Sin Cara and Titus O'Neil, and, you know, who else? Fandango, all of these in this match. It's like, you could have had maybe one or two more surprises, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Now, I know the issue at hand here is who ultimately won the Rumble, and I'm here to tell you guys this. I tried to warn you. I tried. For about a good, 2 or 3 months, I tried to tell you that Roman Reigns was eventually going to be the winner of this Royal Rumble. If you haven't been paying attention to the WWE last year, and I can't blame you because it sucked big balls last year, in my opinion, but you can tell this company was going to go behind Roman Reigns. I knew Roman Reigns was going to win the Rumble and become the guy to win the title at WrestleMania this year. I knew it the second the Shield turned face on the Raw after Mania 30 last year. That's how far I knew they were going to go with this guy. Now the injury kind of sustained him, but even then, they still were able to give you updates and show his face when he was injured. They didn't even do that with Daniel Bryan. So you knew that Roman Reigns, when he was healthy to come back, was going to win the Rumble. There was no way Daniel Bryan or Dean Ambrose or Dolph Ziggler were going to win that Rumble, and you all know it. You guys can deny it all you want. You guys can come up with any excuse you want in the book. But if you haven't been following wrestling for the past 2 decades, then you really didn't know what was going to go on. And I feel bad for you, because everybody that had a sense of common knowledge could tell you that Roman Reigns was going to win that Rumble. It was going to be his Rumble to lose. This is going to be Roman Reigns' year. Now, granted, the way they eliminated Daniel Bryan or Dean Ambrose or Bray Wyatt or Dolph Ziggler, it was kind of shitty. I did not expect Daniel Bryan to get eliminated that early. I thought it would have lasted in the final four. I understand why they did it, because they were trying to get the boos out the way, I guess, for Roman Reigns, and that didn't even work. But what a way to just, treat Daniel Bryan. The guy that you centered WrestleMania 30 around last year, and now you just dump him like he's a mid-carder. Like, you just dump him like he's really nothing. And now you don't really know what you're going to do with Bryan heading in the road to WrestleMania. I've heard reports that he's going to be having a match with a newly heel-turned Sheamus. Again, like, this just proves to me that last year's WrestleMania was an audible. It was an audible because the whole plan last year was for Batista to win the Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania and win the WWE World Heavyweight title. But since CM Punk left, since Batista's return was underwhelming, and since Taker was losing his streak, there was no choice but for the WWE to go a different direction and have Daniel Bryan win the title. But you all knew that Daniel Bryan wasn't in the original plans of that Mania. And I don't see Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania in that title match either. There's no way they're going to do it twice. They're not going to appease us twice. It's just not going to happen. So your main event at WrestleMania 31 is going to be Roman Reigns against the champion Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And a lot of people are not happy about it. The Philly fans obviously let the WWE know that. And they boo, they cry, they bitched about it. Fact of the matter is, for all you doing that, for all everybody doing that, and I understand you have every right to be angry, in my opinion, but, you do all that, and then last night we get reports that the WWE Network has hit 1 million subscribers. So basically, it sounds like the fans are just crying wolf. Because I was hearing reports that, I'm going to cancel my WWE Network, I'm not going to watch this show again. I was hearing all that stuff. I'm not going to subscribe to the WWE Network. I'm going to cancel my WWE Network, when there were reports that the WWE got more subscribed people than people that unsubscribed to hit that $1 million mark. $1 million subscriber mark. Now, granted, we kind of already know why they hit the 1 million mark. I mean, they just released the network in the UK and coming up in Canada, I guess. And, also the fact that the subscriptions page on the WWE Network was crashing, so not a lot of people can really unsubscribe. So we all know how they manipulate the whole numbers. But the fact of the matter is, they still hit 1 million. So all the talk you guys did amounted to nothing. I'm not going to watch Raw anymore. I'm not going to watch WWE anymore. WWE had an in-studio episode of Raw due to the blizzards in the northeastern states, and they were still able to get a better rating this week than last week. So again, all talk but no action. So when the WWE sees stuff like this, it's like, oh, look at that. Internet wrestling fans. They're just bitching. They're just complaining. They'll be back. We'll just stay the course. And that's why the WWE sucks so much now. Because people accept the mediocrity that the WWE has given them for so many years that they are accustomed to it and refuse to take any financial action for them to change. You guys are the wolves that keep crying. You guys are the boys that keep crying wolf. At some point, the company's going to look at you and just not care. Add to the fact that you guys are the minority. Now, granted, the WWE fucked up in the way that you shouldn't have brought Daniel Bryan back at this Royal Rumble. If you knew that Reigns was winning the Rumble, why would you bring Bryan back for them to sabotage his road to WrestleMania? Why would you do that? You should have brought Bryan back the night after the Royal Rumble. And even then, you could have still built that feud with the rumored Sheamus turning heel. You still could have done that after the Rumble. So the WWE fumbled the ball there. But let's be honest here. Some of us wrestling fans complain too much. We think that just because they gave us a bone last year, that they were going to give us another one this year. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. The WWE does not listen to their fans anymore. Stop thinking that you guys are special. Stop thinking that you guys are going to change certain aspects unless you really do. Unless you really get at a business's psyche and change their pockets financially. You're not doing anything. They threw you a bone last year because they had no choice. They had no choice. They had to do it. It's not the same case this year. Daniel Bryan already had his moment at WrestleMania. He already had his title reign last year at WrestleMania. I mean, unfortunate circumstances aside, he still had it. They're not going to go down that well again. Especially Daniel Bryan winning the Rumble to face Brock Lesnar. The same Brock Lesnar that you saw at the Rumble that night. You're telling me a Daniel Bryan that just came out from injury, that's just coming out from rehab, who's not even 100%, is strong enough to face a beast, like is supposed to face a beast of a champion like Brock Lesnar. Daniel Bryan's like what, 5'11", 180, 190 pounds. Brock Lesnar's like over 300 pounds. He's like 6'5", a former UFC champion, a former NAACP Division II champion, former multiple-time WWE champion, and you're telling me a guy like Daniel Bryan could defeat a guy like Brock Lesnar? You are out of your mind. You are ridiculous to think that. Yeah, I know this is pro wrestling, and I know that, size doesn't really matter, that maybe a small guy can really fight and beat up a big guy. I understand all that. But we're talking pro wrestling here. The confines of pro wrestling does not really define those in real life. There has to be some sort of believability. So with Daniel Bryan, there's no way you're telling me him or even a Dean Ambrose or even a Dolph Ziggler can come at Brock Lesnar for the title at Mania. You're out of your mind. Now, do I think Roman Reigns is ready? No. I think they're forcing us towards him. Roman Reigns' whole push reminds me of Randy Orton in 2004. It was all about Orton in 2004, and they pushed him as the WWE's future, and they gave him the World Heavyweight title when he clearly wasn't ready. And then Triple H came back a month later and took the title away from him, and then Randy Orton wasn't doing shit until he had a feud with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 21. So Taker, in a way, saved Randy Orton's career, because it was on free fall after he lost that title to Triple H, because he wasn't ready. And I think Roman Reigns isn't ready, and I understand that. But let's not act like the WWE hasn't pulled this trigger before. Brock Lesnar won the undisputed title 5 months into the company against The Rock. Okay? Like I just stated, Randy Orton won the title in 2004 against, that guy at SummerSlam, and he wasn't ready. Sheamus won the WWE Championship in 2010 against John Cena, I think at TLC, and he wasn't ready. So let's not act like, them doing this to Roman Reigns is something new. They've done this before. They will do what they want to do to push whoever they want to push. Because, again, they don't care about their fans. They don't anymore. They don't. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting this kind of WrestleMania card. Period. And I was hearing reports that, certain Philly fans were blocking the entrances of the stars trying to leave the arena, and there was riots and people were burning shit. It's like, are you guys really 5 years old? You guys are getting all worked up because your boy didn't win? All that effort, all that struggle, and you didn't do a damn thing to their network subscription, you didn't do a damn thing to their rating, where it really matters to them. And now that you guys are acting like this, you may not even get a Big Four pay-per-view in Philadelphia for quite a while. Because of that. Now, granted, Roman Reigns is not the best mic talker. His promo on Raw this week was pretty cringeworthy, very Cena-esque. Trust me, it was. But, people are starting to really over-exaggerate Roman Reigns' abilities. Roman Reigns, to me, has improved in terms of his in-ring work. Not a lot, but he's improved. I can tell it. I can see it. He has a presence in the ring. He has the look. I understand that. And I know people are going to say he doesn't have charisma. Well, let's look at Cesaro. Cesaro doesn't have quote-unquote charisma, but he expresses it in his own way. Maybe the same applies to Roman Reigns. So I would just advise everybody to calm down. Because at the end of the night at WrestleMania 31, he might not even be leaving as WWE Champion. Rollins could still cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and do it. And what are you going to say if he does? I can't wait to watch Raw after WrestleMania, even though you were saying you're not going to watch Raw after the Royal Rumble. Typical wrestling fans. Because wrestling is in our blood. We can't give up something that we've grown up to watch and love and know for all these years. That's really the truth. So for everyone that's bitching about this, take a step back and think long term here. It is possible that Roman Reigns can flop, and may possibly will flop. Maybe they push this guy too soon to the point where there's nothing else they can do for him. I have my concerns for Roman Reigns, I'll be honest. But I think people need to stop acting like they run the show, because they don't. And as long as Vince at least still runs the WWE, you don't run the show. Yes, you may be a part of it. Doesn't necessarily mean you decide ultimately what the show is going to be about. They may throw you a bone or two once in a while, but they're going to do whatever they want to do. And if you don't like it, tell shit. That's what they think about you. Tell shit if you don't like what we do. You're just going to come back. You can bitch and whine all you want. You're just going to come back, so why should we appeal or cater to you? Just think about that. So, we're on the road to WrestleMania now after the Rumble. It's looking like with the current programs right now, we've got Reigns and Brock for the title. We've got Cena and Rusev. I think Rollins is going to really face a returning Orton. Triple H and Sting, obviously. I guess Bray Wyatt and Undertaker. Bryan and Sheamus. I assume the Ascension and Usos. Some multi-layered Divas match. Some multi-layered Battle Royal. It's probably about right in terms of WrestleMania this year. Not really an appealing WrestleMania to me, in my opinion, but it could be worse. And we'll get to that bridge when we get there. So, there you have it. Now, that's it for the Rumble there. Now, let's talk about an upcoming mega event coming up this Saturday night. It is DCA Revelations. The DCA will be hosting their season finale of their season 1 here, Revelations, and DWall and myself will be doing commentary for that mega event. As a lot of you guys already probably know, I am the new lead commentator for DCA Wrestling here, and it's a very big honor. I'm very appreciative that I'm getting this honor to do something very cool, something that I thought I couldn't be able to do for quite some time. I'm glad that someone was able to maybe look at my commentary and see that I could be of use for something. So I do appreciate that. I do have all the thanks to the world to Darius Wallace, aka DWall, for this opportunity. And I'm going to have a fun time heading into season 2 for great commentary and analysis for DCA. If you haven't already, go check out DCA Wrestling. I would advise all my ACW fans to go subscribe to DCA Wrestling on YouTube. It's a very, very good show. It's a very, very good call league, one of the fastest rising call leagues out there today. It would do a lot of good for you guys to subscribe to DCA Wrestling. Go search it on YouTube. I'll actually have the link on the description page down below this video if you want to go check it out. Check it out and just subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot of good things for Season 2, and Revelation is going to be looking to be a great mega event. And we're going to actually run down the DCA mega event Revelations right now. Make sure you join us as DWall, and I will be calling all the action as it happens. One of the matches you'll see will be Billy Edmonds and Lee Ramirez, the tag team taking on the very braggadocious team of Jordan Sylvia and Alexander Washington. These two teams have been going back and forth, and as you saw earlier today, if anything indicates from what happened tonight, it's going to be one tag team match that's going to decide a lot of things. Plus, you also got Jacob Cross, a future talent in DCA, going one-on-one against the very, very great Evan O'Shea. These are two future stars in DCA. who is going to get the upper hand, who is going to move up the card, who is going to be determining their future heading into Revelations this upcoming Saturday. And then a tag team match that I am really looking forward to, as the Rising Suns will go against the current DCA Tag Team Champions, the Blade Runners, for the DCA Tag Team titles. And after what you saw earlier here tonight, this should be one hell of a tag team match, as you can arguably ask. These are the two rising stars in the tag team division of CAW. Who is walking out the DCA Tag Team Champions? And then you've got this match coming up. John Blackrose and Zach Stone, the two challengers in this match, will go up against the current DCA Destiny Champion, Dante Styles. Who will be walking out the DCA Destiny Champion, and who do you possibly think will be walking out maybe as a future #1 contender for the DCA World Heavyweight Championship? But speaking of that title, the match of all matches, you want to talk about epic proportions, the one-man army, Atlas Jones will take on the CCL Heavyweight Champion, the Destroyer, Casey Gordon, who will take on the current DCA World Heavyweight Champion, Malik Brown. A lot of implications will be made in this match, as the future of DCA and maybe even CAW will change in this match right here. It is going to be Revelations. It's going to be one hell of a mega event. Please join us this Saturday night, January 31st, 2015. Only on hitbox.tv/DWall4869. Join us on the chat. We are going to have one hell of a mega event as DCA closes and enters Season 2 as well. Let's get to your questions and comments here. And I don't have a lot of time. You guys asked a lot of questions here, so I'm going to just skim right through it. I'm going to just give you guys the quickest answers I can give you guys. Please don't be offended if I don't go into detail about it. But here you go. Alright. Matthew William Higuera asks me, are you ready to see a Road to Night of Champions 2 in UCCW with the first ever G1 climax? Yeah, I'm excited. I like the fact that UCCW does a lot of things that makes them stand out. I like colleagues that make themselves stand out and try to put their own spin to it. So I'm looking forward to it, as I look forward to with most UCCW stuff. So when that show's ready, I'll be waiting. 2, how confident are you with the UCCW, ACW are going to collide in a huge Super Smash Brothers Super Show? I'm pretty excited. I haven't really done a Super Show in a long time. I think the last Super Show I did was with RCWF, which is now RKDA. I did that with them, PAWL, DCW. That was back in the golden ages of CAW and ACW in 2008, I believe. But, Carol can kind of tell you that more than me, but I haven't done one in a while, so this is going to be very interesting to see how that pans out, and I'm very excited for it, and it should be really a great show, not just for us, but for the fans that watch it, so that's the most important thing. Number 3, what is your favorite MLB team? Here's a little bit of a known fact. I'm not much of a baseball guy. I'm more of a football, soccer, wrestling, boxing type of guy. Those are usually my sports that I know a lot, that I somewhat know a lot about. Wrestling, boxing, soccer, football, all that stuff. So those are usually the sports that I follow mostly and that I really care to know about. Basketball sometimes, but I don't know. I've kind of waned away from basketball in recent years, but I still kind of watch from time to time if it's the Sacramento Kings or whatever. But if I have to pick an MLB team, I'm not really I'm not a baseball guy, but my team would have to be the San Francisco Giants, just because of the West Coast connection there. But other than that, I'm not a baseball guy. So, 4, I'm planning to watch Sword Art Online 2. Is the second one going to be like Call of Duty? You can make an argument for that. Season 2 is kind of like that, I guess, in a way. The first half of Sword Art Online 2 is pretty good, but as so becomes the case with Sword Art Online, the first half is good, the second half is pretty mediocre. And that's kind of what it was here with Season 2. I'm not going to spoil anything for you if you haven't watched it yet. I'm just going to let you know right now. The main character, well, the main female character for the first half of Season 2, I feel is the best character out of everybody in that show after her story. But other than that, yeah. Sword Art Online 2, in my opinion, was it was decent, but for people to call it the greatest anime of the year of 2014 is clearly being a Sword Art Online fanboy or girl. Period. And Which animes are you looking forward to in 2015? Mine is Data Live Movie, Cute High, Earth Defense Club Love, Assassination Classroom, and Etatama. I have heard of Assassination Classroom. I might check it out at some point. I've heard some good things about it. Depends on if I have the time. Animes I'm looking forward to this year. I'm already watching Death Parade. That might be my favorite one this coming up this season. Watching Death Parade, love that show. What else am I following? Still following Seven Deadly Sins. Um, what else? I'm following. What is that show? Something Testament, Sister Testament, something like that. It's a lot of borderline hentai shit. But other than that, I'm keeping an eye on that. Um, what else? What else am I watching? Jesus Christ, I might need some new anime here. Oh yeah, watching Tokyo Ghoul, season 2, watching that. Parasite, I'm watching that too still. So yeah, I'm watching for those, and I'll try to check out some other animes that are out there this season as well. If you guys have any suggestions for any anime this year that I should check out, let me know down below, and I'll give it a look. All right, Garak Weevil asked me a couple questions here. Number one, what city and venue was Ellie kidnapped by Hiei? Man, I don't know. I don't remember that off the top of my head. Like you'll have to go back to the Excel episodes on the channel to go find that out. I can't remember that from the top of my head. Sorry. Two, not to shamelessly promote, but how excited are you for Battle X Ignition? Yeah, I saw the show finally posted last night on Facebook and YouTube, and I haven't checked it out fully yet. I only just got to the first match so far. Um, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, but then again, I haven't watched the whole show yet. Couple of things, maybe try to work on the pacing of the show. I know you had problems with commentary, so that's forgivable, but you might want to have to fix those issues because nobody wants to watch a car show without commentary. That's just what it is. And other than that, I don't see any problem with it so far. But yeah, production issues and stuff like that. You know, I like what I see so far. But I'll watch the whole show when I get a chance, either tonight or on Monday. Um, let's see here. Is there any particular cause CPVs that you thought were ungodly horrible? Not off the top of my head. Um, hmm, Jesus. I won't say horrible, but some mega events or CPVs I wasn't a fan of. I wasn't a fan of TWA's Halloween Haunt from last year. I remember, yeah, I remember myself saying that last year that I wasn't a fan of Halloween Haunt for TWA, and I love TWA. It's one of my favorite colleagues out there actually, but for Halloween Haunt, for a lot of things that were being built up for that event, it just kind of disappointed. It just kind of fell flat to me. Um, what else? Oh man, there's not a lot that I can remember, at least off the top of my head. Maybe EAW back in the days, they didn't have a lot of great mega events. Yeah, those are just some that are coming off the top of my head, but other than that, I can't really remember. So, um, how much do you think the Royal Rumble's gonna suck? I don't know. It might actually be pretty good. You got the triple threat match between Lesnar, Cena, and Rollins for the title. You got the Royal Rumble match with a lot of speculation as to who's gonna be in it and who's gonna eventually win it, which I will talk about my answers later on in this newscast. Um, so I don't know. It might be actually good. Out of the tag teams in ACW, which members of each team have the most potential to become future big stars in ACW? Yeah, for some, with a Straw Hat crew, you can say Luffy would have more potential. That's not a knock. That's not a knock on Zoro or anything, but Luffy would be the potential big star from that team. Um, I actually think Choji Akamichi between the team of Choji and Kankuro would be another one as well. He's really impressive. You've seen his work as a tag team with Kankuro. Um, and then also, obviously, you got to put in Rock Lee from Team Guy. After becoming Intercontinental Champion last year and having some Match of the Year contenders, he's got to be another one that's with full potential. So, all right. Vinny Cristione, Yeah, aka VPAC from YouTube, my man, asked me what promotion do you wrestle for, and do they have a website? I wrestle for TWF, Total Wrestling Federation. Um, it's in Sacramento here, and we do have a website, but it's currently down right now, so I can't give you the address. It's currently down, so there's no point. But we're trying to figure that out as we move forward here in the new year. So I'll let you know when we have any more news about that. If Goku and Monkey D. Luffy got into an eating contest, who would win? That's Goku. That's Goku all day. I mean, no offense to Luffy, that man can pack some steaks and ramen and rice down that belly. But this is Goku we're talking about, folks. This is we're not even talking about adult Goku here. Kid Goku would out eat Luffy. That's how boss Goku is with eating. It's Goku. It's no contest. Um, Gary Connell Jr. asks me question number one: what are your thoughts on Iggy Azalea's whole Twitter war with rappers and hip hop purists? If you haven't followed me on Facebook, you probably know the answer to that question, but um, I think it's really disingenuous for people to not allow the conversation about the fact that Iggy Azalea is a representation of cultural appropriation in hip hop. And I'm not trying to blame Iggy for the whole thing. Iggy's just one person. She's one spoke on the wheel, if you will. Iggy's just the product, so I can't fully knock her for it. I don't even know her to do that. She's making her money, and I never make fun of an artist, even if I'm not a fan of theirs. I never make fun of them or get at them for making money. You make the most money you can in what you do. But having said that, it's clear, at least to me, it's clear to me that the certain powers that be in the music industry, they hate hip hop. They never understood hip hop. They don't get hip hop. And they're trying to strip away everything that hip hop is about and make it into their own form of hip hop. And that's what you see with Iggy Azalea. They want the Iggy Azalea. They want the Macklemores. They want those type of rappers that hop onto the bandwagon that is hip hop, that has made money for all these years, but they just don't want the negative connotations, quote unquote. So that's why they do what they do. And for a guy like Ti to deny that, I mean, obviously he's not gonna throw away or criticize his meal ticket. So he's of course not gonna do that. You know, but I just think that Iggy Azalea is just one of the major problems, or not Iggy Azalea, but just the whole structure, product, and whole atmosphere of an Iggy Azalea is just a one of the major problems that hip hop has right now. And kudos goes to the likes of Q-Tip and Talib Kweli trying to speak on this matter because a lot of these rappers out here today don't have the balls or the brains to speak out when they see something that is wrong and currently even um, undercutting what they are, undercutting the culture. Because let's be honest here, and I will defend this till I go to the grave. Hip hop is black culture. Now, yes, granted, hip hop has now become a global phenomenon, and now hip hop has become diverse, where everybody of all races and all genders and all nationalities can come in and just be a part of hip hop. That's cool, but never forget where the roots are from. Never forget where hip hop came from. It came from the inner city sections. It came from the inner city sections when people were struggling, and when you had the soul and disco era of the 70s, and you had the whole R&B era of the 80s. People were tired of hearing all this, lovey-dovey crap. They wanted something gritty. They wanted something that related to them, and thus hip hop was born. So let's not forget where the roots came from. It is black culture because we developed it. But see, that's the thing. People see a lot of things that were made in black culture. They try to hate on it, but then when they see it making money or making some sort of um, ground, then they want to try to co-opt it and make it their own and appropriate it. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And they're doing the same thing with hip hop. They did the same shit with the blues and made that rock and roll. They try to do the same shit with soul music and made that disco. They tried doing it with jazz to make them their own thing. Now they're doing the same thing with hip hop. And as someone that loves hip hop, not just the music of hip hop, but the culture, that's damn insulting to me. And I'm not saying this because she's white, because I know that's what a lot of people are going to just start ignorantly saying out of their mouths. Because I criticize, the Rick Rosses too and the Drakes, so don't even come at me like that. I call Rick Ross a gimmick. He is a gimmick in the game. Drake, he is somebody that's just um Drake, he's just somebody that is a gimmick. He's what the product wants right now. Drake is the John Cena of hip hop if you want to be technical about it. But that's a different problem. It is a problem. Rick Ross and Drake, they are problems of their own, but that's a different problem that it pertains to hip hop. Iggy Azalea is the cultural appropriation of what is black culture, which is hip hop. Not saying that black culture is just hip hop, but you get what I'm talking about in saying that hip hop is something that black culture created and made for people to diversify. And they're trying to take away the roots. They're trying to make people forget about the roots so they can make it their own corporate spiel. And it pisses me off. I'm sorry, it does. So those are my thoughts there, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of debates as we head to the Grammys with Iggy Azalea, her album coming up for Best Rap Album. That's one of the nominees. Whew! If you thought the Macklemore deal last year was bad, wait till Iggy wins that award because she's going to win it. But then again, who gives a fuck about the Grammys? I don't even watch award shows. I don't even watch award shows anymore. They're all popularity contests. And especially with the Grammys, when it comes with hip hop has never gave a fuck about the Grammys. So the Grammys really doesn't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. But anyways, question number 2: what are your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom 9? I personally thought it would represent true pro wrestling. I enjoyed it. It's gonna, I've always, watched, a lot of puro wrestling, whether that was New Japan or whether that was what was the other one I used to watch a lot? Zero One. There you go. Whether it was Zero One or it was New Japan or even All Japan, or even Hustle, stuff like that. I was watching, watching those kind of things. It's really great to see the Japanese culture respect wrestling as a sport. So it was a great event. JR and Matt Striker, I thought, did a great job in commentary, trying to translate the action in the ring to a wider audience in the United States. So I was impressed. And now New Japan is on AXS TV, which is all the more merrier. More wrestling promotions getting more TV, more competition. Everyone's happy. The boys in the business, the boys and girls that are doing this job, they get more options, and that's the most important thing. Um, let's see. Question number 3: aside from Prince of Tennis, what other sports animes do you like? For me, it's Kuroko no Basket. Yeah, I checked out Kuroko before. It's a pretty good anime. I don't read the manga, but I checked out the anime a couple of times because my brothers are kind of fans of it. So I checked it out. It's a pretty good thing, and I think season 3 is on right now this year. So I'm gonna actually probably just start watching season 3. That might be the anime I'm gonna start adding into the whole spiel. So another one was Ippo, I think it was called, the boxing anime. I thought that was pretty cool as well. But my favorite sports anime of all time is the Prince of Tennis. It's got to be the Prince of Tennis. I don't even like tennis. I still kind of don't like tennis. But for some reason, that show, the Prince of Tennis, and I didn't even like the show to begin with when it was on Toonami and had that horrible English dub. That's probably pretty much why I didn't really watch the Prince of Tennis. But I did like Ryoma though. That's why Ryoma eventually came to ACW because I did like Ryoma. But other than that, I wasn't a fan of the Prince of Tennis. But then I watched the Japanese sub, and it was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful animes I ever watched. Just the emotion, the action, the stories, it just the characters. It was just everything that I loved about the show. So Prince of Tennis is my favorite sports anime. It's one of my favorite animes of all time, actually. If you didn't know. Last question. What are your thoughts on Twitter being the new platform for beefs, mostly when it's involved hip hop? By the way, I'm really looking forward to the new season of ACW, and congratulations on being the new commentator for DCA. Thank you very much. I am very humbled to be the new commentator for DCA, and hopefully I do DWall and DCA very proud. Um, yeah, a lot of people are using Twitter now. In a way, it's kind of bitch made in a way because back then when you would when you would have beef with somebody, you would state it on record, like on a song, or if it was really that serious, like a Biggie, Tupac, or a Ja Rule and 50 Cent, then you would settle it within the streets. So it used to be one of those two, but now you have social media, and it's like, well, maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe he didn't mean it like that, or maybe he meant it like this. So I think social media is a pretty crappy way to handle beefs. Either do it in person or just do it in song at least. Do at least one of those two. That's kind of just how I was raised. I just kind of don't like the whole social media platform in terms of hip hop beats, quote unquote. Um, let's see. Let's see here. And I'm on 20 minutes. I gotta be quick with these things. Questions. All right, Joshua Howell. Who is going to win the Super Bowl? I want Seattle to win, but I have the feelings the Patriots are going to win. The Seattle Seahawks. Their defense is like freaking. It's almost immortal at this point. Like the Seahawks, their defense is really, really damn good. I even say the Seahawks defense was the reason why they beat the Packers last week. Because Russell Wilson had a couple of slip-ups. He had like 4 turnovers in that game. He could have easily lost that game for the Seahawks. The defense was just so great in what they did that they were able to scathe free from the Rodgers plague with the Packers. Having that said, I extremely dislike the Patriots. I really, really dislike the Patriots, especially now that you have Deflategate now happening, and that's kind of, in my opinion, that whole thing is ridiculous. But again, it's just another strike against the Belichick era of the Patriots. Um, I don't. I'm not sure. I don't have a winner for. I really don't have a winner for this as a Broncos fan. I don't have a winner because as a Broncos fan, I just naturally hate the Patriots. And then the Seahawks are the ones that beat the Broncos really bad last year at the Super Bowl. So I really don't have a winner here. But if I had to pick a winner, oh, I damn sure won't be rooting for them. But if I have to be reasonable here, it's gonna have to be the Patriots winning Super Bowl. Tom Brady and that offense is just it's just they never cease to surprise me sometimes, and I just don't see as much as the defense for the Seahawks has really been damn great. I think Russell Wilson's gonna eventually cost that team like he almost did for the Packers against a elite quarterback in Tom Brady. So as much as I will not be rooting for them, I will be rooting for the Seahawks to win that Super Bowl. But if I have to be realistic here, the Patriots are gonna win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Any thoughts on TWA End of Days? Very good show. Um, very excited to see TWA now on season 5. TWA being one of my favorite rising colleagues out there, man. Along with DCA and stuff like that. TWA is another colleague out there that's doing its own thing. It's like a mixture of SMF and SCAW, if you want to think about it. But I like what I'm seeing with that league, and End of Days is just another great mega event for that league. So good job for those guys. Good job to RJ and Mark and all those guys there. Do you happen to watch OSW review? No, I don't. But some of the things I do watch as it pertains to YouTube with wrestling, um, as some probably already know, I watched OTRS Central with the Schleg Daddy. I do watch that. One of the best YouTube personalities out there, in my opinion. I do still watch the Pro Wrestling Report with Damian Nelson and David Hero, even though they tend to be very WWE sheep-like at times, which you can call their bullshit out at times. But other than that, I still do watch it just from time to time. I do watch the TV Tracks videos with the Solo Monster and Deluxe Man and even sometimes the Gurek Report. I used to watch I think it was called Afterburn, right? Afterburn, but I haven't really been keeping up with that lately. Yeah, I watched the Wrestling Gurus and In the Rope Show, and yeah, pretty much those basic things right there. So those are the things I watch in terms of YouTube wrestling personalities. What move do you feel is the most underutilized in wrestling? I'd have to go with the DDT. And because it's been bastardized so bad, like when Jake the Snake Roberts used to hit the DDT, like that used to be a finisher. You can buy that as a finisher. But now you got you got most of the roster. Hell, you got most of the people in the business just doing a DDT and people will no sell it. Like we've gotten to the point where people are no selling DDTs just so they can look cool, so they can look like a badass. Like, oh, I took a DDT. Oh, I took a power driver. Oh, I took a powerbomb, and I'm still standing. Like, what the hell kind of wrestling is that, really? If you want to be honest, like sometimes, especially this is prevalent in the independent scene. I love the independent scene. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of the independent scene, sometimes there's just a lot of no selling. Just and the Young Bucks are very, very notorious for this. Like I know they're all about the super kick party and all that stuff, but it gets to the point where you do that so many times it loses its effect. And then again, I think the Young Bucks are kind of overrated, but that's just my opinion. But that'll be for another time. Um, let's see here. John Blackos asks, "How good was this hiatus? Did you have enough time to rest?" Yeah, man, this is a good hiatus. I needed it. Trust me, I needed this hiatus. Got some time to relax. Got some time to do some other things that I haven't been able to really fully do. Um, I just had fun doing it. I just had a good time being able to do all that. Um, I had fun. Like, I mean, what else can I tell you? I had fun. Um, is ACW going to be more chaotic this year? Yes. Yes. If you thought it was chaotic last year, this year's about to blow that out of the water. With the storylines that I have implemented this year, yeah, it's about to get chaotic. Trust me. There's your spoiler for this year. But um, I would like to hear your thoughts about what happened in Paris a few weeks ago. Yeah, the whole Charlie Hito incident in Paris. Well, first of all, it's a tragedy. Um, First of all, my condolences go out to the families, friends, and loved ones of those that lost their lives that day on that incident. It's just a unfortunate situation that is becoming too common now in the world that we live in, and that's a shame. Um, so apparently, apparently the people got killed because they made fun of Muhammad. See, this is why, this is why I am not religious anymore. And to be fair, I used to be. I used to be a very religious Pentecostal. Um, yeah, I used to be a very religious Pentecostal. Even actually, if you go back to certain ACW episodes here on this channel, I used to not curse a lot. Like I used to really not curse a lot. Like I would say the eventual crap, damn, hell, but I was really not cursing a lot back in those days of ACW. But as I started becoming more disenfranchised and disillusioned with religion, all it told me was that religion is nothing more than a and I'm sure I'm going to be offending people. I really don't care, but all religion taught me was that it traps your way of thinking. That there is no such thing as religious freedom. Because with religion, you have to think, you have to abide, and you have to follow a certain path. You have to follow a certain set of ideals and morals. So how is that freedom if it's rejecting you from being free of what you want to believe and think? So yeah, I'm really not religious. Now I'm not saying that I'm an atheist or an agnostic. I'm not saying that really, but I'm just not religious. I think religion, especially today's religion, in terms of here in the United States, I think it's a scam. I think it's just a way to take your money and to use it for their own luxurious needs. I remember Tupac used to say one time, "How do you have a mega church and there are people out there, homeless people out there, and you don't invite them into your mega church to at least stay in until they can get back on their feet? How can you put all these golden bricks on the floor and rose painted paintings on the ceiling and everything? Why do you have to do all that for God? Why do you have to do all that for whatever religion you believe in? Why can't you come to me? Why do I have to come to you?" So that's just kind of my beliefs. But in terms of that, people need to grow the fuck up. Okay, people did a satirical drawing of Muhammad. Get the fuck over it. I don't give a fuck if it's against your religion. I don't mean to be that guy, but I've seen drawings of people making fun of Jewish people and Buddha and especially Jesus. But apparently, because it's Muhammad, we have to have a certain code of no, we can't do that. That's going too far. It goes back to the whole thing with South Park when they did that episode and they couldn't even show the caricature of Muhammad. They had to put a big black bar on it. It's just ridiculous. That's to the point where we get to censorship, and I am a huge advocate of anti-censorship. So yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I think people need to quit using religion as a crutch. They need to think for themselves. They need to use common sense because like, apparently common sense isn't common no more. But It's a damn shame. People didn't have to lose their lives over it, but people just are too sensitive and just are too ignorant to understand what is really going on in the world. In my opinion. Um, Quincy Brown asked me, "Are you going to see the movie Unfriended?" Maybe. I saw the trailer. It looked pretty nice to me, but again, I have to see it to believe it. It's an interesting kind of horror movie for its time. I'll put it that way. Do you think TNA made the right move with Destination America? I actually think they did. Now watching the 3 episodes of Impact now, I think they made the right move. People can say all they want about Spike TV, being the bigger network and being more available in households. But what does that really mean if Spike wasn't promoting TNA as much as they did with Bellator or Bar Rescue or even Cops, reruns of Cops they were promoting more than TNA. So it's clear that Spike TV didn't want to be a part of the wrestling business, and this just goes back to the days where it was TNN with ECW, and then they didn't want to be involved with ECW. Then the WWE was there, and they didn't want to be involved there. And TNA, they didn't want to be involved with TNA. I think Spike TV just doesn't want to have anything with. I really do think they don't want anything to do with wrestling, at least anymore now. So moving to Destination America, where they're going to get more promotion, they're going to be promoted throughout more of the Discovery networks, and the fact that I'm seeing like flyers and new graphics and new promotions out there for this, for TNA, and the fact that they're giving them more programming, they're letting them do marathons there on Friday nights, they're having it unlocked, they're doing a lot of things here for TNA. They're really putting their whole eggs in the basket here for TNA. But for TNA, they need to understand this is a sink or swim movement here. They can start a new audience. They can build to a new audience right here. This is like going back to the Fox Sports Net days with me here. You can build a new audience here and start doing some more productive things. And to be honest with you, TNA's gotten a little better. I'm gonna be honest with you, but you've got to do more. It's time to stop. It's time to stop dicking around and get the business at hand here. Because you got a lot of wrestling fans that are not pleased with the WWE product right now. So they want to see what you're up against. And if you're not going to do anything about it, then fine. There's Lucha Underground, there's ROH, there's New Japan, there's a lot of other promotions out there that can do it, if you want to be honest. So this is the make or break for TNA. If they can't get it capitalized here, then at this point they're just a regional promotion, and they'll just wither away to obscurity. Alright, and let me see here. I gotta go to one more page here, and then I will be done with the newscast here today. Let's see. Kavaja Humphrey asks, with Aaron Yeager as the new ACW Cruiserweight Champion, is there any future anime cause that can take a part of ACW? Yeah, of course. I usually bring in new talent almost with every season of ACW, so you'll see some new talent. Now, will that be on the ACW draft in February? I don't know about that, but you will definitely see new talent in ACW this year. I can guarantee that. Kyle Franks asked me WrestleMania match card predictions. Eesh. I'm not gonna kind of dwell into it because I'm over 30 minutes now, but I'm not gonna dwell into it so much. But I'm just gonna go through it. I'm gonna skim through it, and maybe on the future newscast I'll address why I chose those matches. Jesus, man. Okay. John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the title, and Reigns will win that match. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, possibly for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar. Triple H versus Sting. Rusev versus Ryback. Some multi-man battle royal where Dolph Ziggler will win it. Maybe. Nothing guaranteed. Damien Sandow versus The Miz. Hopefully, I want to see that match. Some multi-man Divas tag match that won't go too long. And the Usos versus the Ascension for the tag titles. I think that's my card for WrestleMania. Looks pretty decent, I guess. If that's gonna be the real card, then I guess it's alright. But Tyrone Pierre asked, "What do you think about John Fox being fired in the situation on Peyton Manning? Also, what's your take on the New England scandal involving the deflated footballs?" In terms of the Deflategate thing, I think it's stupid. I mean, again, Tom Brady with that interview he did, you can tell he was bullshitting. You can tell that Tom Brady knew more than what he was giving to everybody in that speech. I honestly think Bill Belichick didn't know anything really per se. I don't think he didn't know anything. Um, I think it's just really the matter of the fact that the NFL protecting the Patriots because the Patriots are just one of the NFL franchises that make money and press. So the NFL's got to protect their cash cow. So there you have it there. But I think it's stupid. I think you're looking forward to the Patriots and Seahawks game for the Super Bowl, and all we can talk about is deflated footballs. It's kind of ridiculous. But again, it's another strike against the Patriots, and that seems to happen a lot with Belichick in charge. So, as for Peyton Manning and John Fox leaving, it was kind of it was kind of sad. I didn't see it coming. I'll be honest, I did not see that coming. Hopefully the Bears can learn a lot from John Fox. I think John Fox can do a lot for that team. They're not going to be winning anything significant for the next 2 or 3 years, but if they can start building from here for this upcoming season, I think they can probably do better than they did last year. Because last year they were terrible. They were horrible. Probably the worst in the division. And for Peyton Manning, man, he did not look good in that game. He did not look good in that game with the Colts. And I think it's starting to become that time where Peyton Manning needs to start contemplating if this upcoming year is going to be his final year, because he's looking really old there. He's starting to look like Dan Marino back in the late '90s. That's how bad he's looking. He's starting to look like Brett Favre in the the late 2000s here. It's starting to get pretty bad here with Peyton Manning. I got to be honest with you. So I'm not saying that Brock Osweiler is the answer or anything, but Peyton right now, I've always known him to be the guy. I always known that Peyton Manning's the guy. He's one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time. But when it comes to the playoffs, Peyton Manning is inconsistent as fuck, and he just proved it again here. He choked. He just did. Andrew Luck was the better quarterback. So Peyton Manning's got to really consider if he wants to go another year. Honestly, he's starting to look like the equivalent of Kobe Bryant right now in the NBA. They both need to start contemplating retirement because they're starting to look like shells of their former selves. I'm just being honest. Torn Anthony Fluker asked me some questions here. What are your thoughts about this controversial ball deflation as the Patriots defeat the Colts? I already answered that question. That's like the third time I've got asked that question. Apparently, deflate gate is a thing. So, okay, I guess. But I already answered that question. If the Royal Rumble rolls on this Sunday, what are your favorite Royal Rumble moments? My favorite Royal Rumble moments. Let's see. Ric Flair winning in '92, and that is the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. There is no debate. Honestly, you can't make the debate. Ric Flair winning the title at the Royal Rumble '92. Vince McMahon winning the Rumble in '99. That was hilarious. Even though fuck this guy, because he really doesn't deserve it, and he deserves all the non-press he gets these days. But I gotta be honest, Chris Benoit winning in 2004, that was a moment that unfortunately has now been tarnished. Let's see here, Taker winning in '08, as a huge Undertaker fan, that was cool. No, that was 2007 because Cena won in '08. Yeah, okay, 2007. What else? Let me see. Austin winning in '98 was another one. CM Punk doing his spiel in the 2009 Rumble was pretty funny. Let me see. Yeah, those would be some of the Royal Rumble moments there. Yeah, if you didn't notice, I didn't name Drew Carey. Fuck that guy. I'm just messing. But what are your thoughts about CXWI challenging ACW, TNE, and COH Call of Honor in a fatal four-way on Golden Ambitions? Again, looking forward to it. I'm glad to see that. I'm starting to be a part of more things here with CAW. I really do appreciate it. I do love it. I do appreciate it, and I am honored and humbled. So I appreciate it, and I will be looking forward to it. Um, what are your thoughts about Korra-sama confirmed as a series finale of The Legend of Korra? Did they really do that? I mean, I saw the ending, but did they really confirm it as that? Come on, man. That was clearly a bone thrown at the freaking fan base. But even then, it's like, it's, okay. It's like that was just a random bone thrown just to please the fan base. It's like that was just a way to appease the fan base. It's like, I guess I don't mind, but it's like, really? Didn't have to do it, but all right. To be honest with you, I stopped watching, like, I stopped following Korra. I think around the middle part of season 2. I was just starting to lose interest, in my opinion. So, but I did catch the series finale, and I guess that was confirmed. Wow. I guess by looking at that series, that's see. As I've seen, you can see that. So, yeah, I guess so. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Royal Rumble match predictions this year? I kind of already answered that, and I'll actually go through it as I do the announcements. Um, I had one more question. Well, um, let's see. Hugo Gonzalez asks, "Have you tried out the Attitude Era game mode? What did you think about it?" He's talking about W13. Yes, I did try it, and I had fun doing it. Attitude Era mode, one of my favorite modes ever in a video game from the WWE. Um, it's way better than WWE 12s. I'll put it that way. Ugh. But Attitude Era mode was awesome. It was fun having to relive some of your moments when you were watching as a kid. So I had fun watching it, and I had fun playing it. Um, what are your thoughts about the creative arena mode in W13? Is it good as what it is, or could have been better? I like creative arena mode. It makes you be more creative. It lets you kind of venture in your creativity and your uniqueness. Um, yeah, you can do a lot more. Like, you can change certain things here and there. Like, you can change the certain stage parts here and there, and like move it like it's um like Minecraft or something like that. I don't know, but um I liked it for what it is. So yeah, I like creative arena mode. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for your questions and comments. Once again, if you have a question or comment, send it to me on Facebook or down below in this channel, and I will try to get to it as soon as possible. So thank you guys for the question and comments. Thank you guys for the Q&A of this newscast.